Imagine this. You're standing on the pitch, 80,000 people screaming your name, cameras flashing from every corner, millions watching from home. Most players would feel the weight of the world on their shoulders. But not Cristiano Ronaldo. Instead, he smiles. He laughs. Even when the referee cracks a joke at his expense, he takes it in stride. He's calm, collected, and somehow cool. But what makes Ronaldo so cool? Is it the confidence, the discipline, or something else? Today, we're diving deep into the life of one of football's greatest icons to understand why Ronaldo is more than just a superstar. He's the embodiment of cool under pressure. Got it all started during a high-pressure game. Ronaldo had just argued with the referee over a decision. Tensions were high, the crowd was restless, and every camera was focused on him. Most players in that situation would lose their temper, shout, or even risk a red card. But Ronaldo? He just smiled. The referee laughed, Ronaldo winked, and the game went on. That moment blew up on social media. Fans couldn't stop talking about it. Why is Ronaldo so chill? How does he keep his cool, even when things don't go his way? That's the question we're answering today. To understand Ronaldo's coolness, we have to start with the basics. Mindset. Ronaldo isn't just a football player. He's a master of mental control. Every time he steps on the pitch, he knows he's being watched, judged, and analyzed. For most people, that kind of pressure would be crushing. But Ronaldo thrives under it. Why? Because he's prepared for it mentally and physically. Ronaldo has often said that football is as much about the mind as it is about the body. Every match, every goal, every record starts in the mind. He visualizes success before it happens. He trains his brain to handle criticism, pressure, and even jokes from referees. When the ref laughs at him, Ronaldo doesn't take it personally. He knows the game isn't about ego, it's about winning. That ability to separate emotion from performance is rare, and it's a big reason why he seems so effortlessly cool. Coolness doesn't come from nowhere. Ronaldo isn't calm because he's lucky, he's calm because he's prepared. Every time you see him smile under pressure, it's the result of decades of hard work. Think about this. Ronaldo trains harder than almost anyone in the sport. His workouts are legendary. His diet is strict. His sleep schedule is optimized. When you've put in that much work, you don't need to panic. You already know you're ready. And that's the secret. Confidence isn't pretending you're great. It's knowing you've done everything to be great. When Ronaldo steps on the field, he knows he's prepared. So when a referee laughs or when the crowd boos, it doesn't shake him. He's earned the right to stay calm. Being cool isn't just about what you do. It's about how you carry yourself. Ronaldo understands the power of body language. He walks with purpose. He celebrates with style. And even when he argues with referees, he does it with a smile. That's charisma. And charisma isn't fake confidence. It's real confidence that shows. Ronaldo knows people are watching. He knows kids look up to him. So instead of throwing tantrums or losing control, he keeps his composure. Even his critics admit, the man knows how to own the moment. Now, let's talk about the ref laughing. Why would a referee laugh during a heated game? Because Ronaldo knows how to lighten the mood. He's competitive, yes. He argues, yes. But he does it with charm. He'll raise an eyebrow, crack a grin, maybe even say something funny. And that makes all the difference. Football is intense. The stakes are high. But Ronaldo knows something most players forget. At the end of the day, it's a game. It's supposed to be fun. That attitude, staying playful, even when everything's on the line, is a big part of his cool factor. Of course, Ronaldo isn't just cool on the pitch. Off the field, he's a global icon. Fashion, fitness, philanthropy, he does it all. And he does it with style. His Instagram alone is a masterclass in confidence. But here's the interesting part. Ronaldo's coolness off the pitch isn't an act. It's the same mindset he brings to the game: discipline, confidence, and composure. Whether he's launching a new business or signing autographs for fans, he does it with that same easy charm. Now, let's be real. Not everyone loves Ronaldo. He has critics, people who call him arrogant, selfish, even dramatic. But here's the thing. Coolness isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about staying true to yourself, no matter what others say. And Ronaldo does exactly that. When people doubt him, he doesn't argue. He proves them wrong. When fans boo, he scores goals. When the media attacks, he stays focused. That ability to rise above negativity, that's real cool. So, what can we learn from Ronaldo's coolness? Here are 3 big takeaways. Prepare like crazy. Confidence comes from preparation. If you want to stay calm under pressure, do the work before the big moment. Control your emotions. Don't let small things throw you off. Stay focused on the bigger picture. Keep it fun. Even in high-pressure situations, remember why you started. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the process. Now, let's break this moment down. Frame by frame, the referee laughs. Not just a polite chuckle, the kind you give when someone says, "Nice weather today, huh?" Nope. This is a laugh with weight. The kind that says, "I've seen it all. Cristiano, and you're not going to change my mind today." But hold on. Let's rewind for a second. Why did the ref laugh? Think about it. When does someone laugh in your face during an argument? Usually when they feel in complete control, when they know they've got you beat. And here's Ronaldo, one of the most competitive humans alive. A man who doesn't just play football. He lives it. Every pass, every shot, every decision matters to him. So imagine what it feels like when the man with the whistle, the guy who controls the game, just laughs at you. That's brutal. Here's where it gets interesting. In football, the referee holds absolute power. He's the law, the judge, the executioner. But when it comes to Ronaldo, there's usually this aura, an unspoken rule. You respect him. He's earned it. 5 Ballon d'Ors, hundreds of goals, countless trophies. He's not just a player, he's an institution. So when this ref laughs, it breaks the script. It's a disruption. And disruptions are fascinating because they expose something raw, the truth. And the truth here? The ref isn't intimidated. Not by the name on the back of the shirt. Not by the 800 goals. Not by the millions of fans watching worldwide. In that moment, the referee says without words, "I'm in charge, not you." And the laugh? That's the exclamation mark. Why didn't Ronaldo explode? Here's the $1,000,000 question. Why didn't Ronaldo lose it? Let's be real. Ronaldo is passionate. He's had moments throwing his arms up, shouting, even storming down the tunnel. But this time, nothing. Just a little smile. A smirk, maybe. Almost like he's saying, "All right, you got me." And that's what makes him so cool. He knows when to fight and when to let it go. He doesn't give the ref the satisfaction of a meltdown. Because Ronaldo understands something most people don't. Control is the ultimate weapon. When you keep your cool in the heat of battle, you're untouchable. And Ronaldo? He's mastered that art. But let's zoom in on the psychology. Why did that laugh sting so much? Because laughter, especially in conflict, isn't neutral. It's dominance. It says, "You're not a threat. You're not even serious." For most players, that would crush their ego. But Ronaldo? He flips it. He uses it as fuel. Here's what I think happened in his head. Okay, laugh now. But watch what happens next. And that's exactly what separates champions from the rest. They don't let the moment define them. They define the next moment. And of course, In 2025, nothing stays on the pitch. The clip hits Twitter sorry, X in seconds. Memes everywhere. People captioning it. Ref schooling Ronaldo like a teacher telling a kid to sit down. Or when your mom says no after you begged for ice cream. Millions of views. Everyone talking. Half the world laughing with the ref. The other half defending Ronaldo like their life depends on it. But guess what Ronaldo does? Nothing. No angry post. No cryptic Instagram story. Just silence. Because silence speaks louder than words. Here's where the story gets even better. After that laugh, Ronaldo didn't just fade into the game. He turned it on. Sharp passes. Explosive runs. A goal that made the crowd erupt. And as he celebrated, no pointing at the ref. No taunts. Just pure focus. That's the Ronaldo effect. You can laugh at him, doubt him, write him off, but he'll always come back swinging. Not with words. With action. And honestly, that's why he's so cool. Because cool isn't about never feeling the heat. It's about staying icy when the fire's all around you. Now, let's step back. What does this moment really tell us? It's not just about football. It's about life. People will laugh at you. They'll underestimate you. They'll try to knock you off your game. But what do? Do you lash out? Or do you stay calm, smile, and let your work speak for itself? Ronaldo chose the second option. And that's why, years from now, when people look back, they won't just remember the goals. They'll remember moments like this. Because greatness isn't built in easy times. It's built when the world is laughing, and you keep moving forward. And that, my friends, is why the ref laughed at Ronaldo, and why Ronaldo stayed the coolest guy on the pitch. But here's the twist. Was that laugh a mistake? Did it wake something up in him? Because if history tells us anything, it's this. Every time someone doubts Cristiano Ronaldo, he comes back stronger. And if you think this story is over, oh, it's just getting started. The referee laughs again. The crowd roars. Some cheer, some boo. Cameras zoom in on Ronaldo's face, searching for a crack in the armor, a flicker of anger, a sign of weakness. But they find nothing. Just the same calm, sharp look in his eyes. The same half smile. Why doesn't he react like everyone else? Why doesn't he explode? Because Ronaldo understands something most players never will. Football isn't just a game of legs. It's a game of minds. When you argue with the referee, when you shout, when you lose control, you've already lost. Not the match, maybe, but control of yourself. And control is powered. Ronaldo knows this better than anyone. He's been in football's biggest storms. World Cup finals. Champions League finals. Games where millions are watching and billions of dollars are on the line. The stakes couldn't be higher. Yet through all of it, he stays calm. Why? Because calmness wins games. In life and in football, there's a simple rule. You can't control everything, but you can control yourself. Ronaldo can't control the referee. He can't control bad decisions. He can't control the weather, the crowd, or the luck of the game. But he can control how he reacts. And that reaction is everything. The average player argues. They waste energy. They lose focus. They let one bad decision destroy the next 10 minutes of their game. And in those 10 minutes, the other team scores. The game changes. But Ronaldo? He doesn't give them that power. He smiles. He adjusts. He moves on. And that's what makes him dangerous. Because while others are busy fighting emotions, Ronaldo is planning his next move. Most people see a smile and think he's relaxed. But in Ronaldo's case, that smile is calculated. It's a message. You can't break me. When a referee laughs at you, he wants to test you. He wants to see if you'll lose control. Other players fall for it. They get angry. They lose their edge. But Ronaldo? He smiles. He laughs back. And suddenly, the power shifts. The referee realizes he can't get to him. The other team sees it too. That smile says, no matter what you do, I'm still in control. And that's intimidating, because mental strength scares people more than physical strength ever will. You see the calmness on the pitch. But what you don't see is the discipline of it. The hours in the gym, the early mornings, the strict diet, the mindset training. Ronaldo's calmness isn't luck. It's preparation. It's thousands of small decisions stacked on top of each. Other decisions to do the hard thing when no one's watching. Most players train for the body. Ronaldo trains for the body and the mind. He understands that talent isn't enough, that the body without discipline is nothing, that success isn't about what happens when the crowd is cheering. It's about what happens when no one cares. When he wakes up early, when he chooses the healthy meal over the easy one, when he trains harder than yesterday. All of those choices create the mental strength you see on the pitch. So when the referee laughs at him, it doesn't shake him. Because he's unshakable. What can we learn? You might not be a footballer. You might never play in front of millions. But life will put you in similar situations. People will laugh at you. They'll doubt you. They'll try to break your confidence. The question is, will you let them? When life laughs at you, you have two choices. React emotionally. Stay calm and keep moving forward. Most people choose the first. They argue. They complain. They waste energy on things they can't control. And then they wonder why they're stuck. But the successful ones, the Ronaldos of life, they choose the second. They don't let emotions control them. They keep their focus on what matters. The next move, the next goal, the bigger picture. That's the difference. And it's a choice you can make too. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Football isn't about talent anymore. Life isn't about talent anymore. It's about mindset. Everyone at the top level is talented. Everyone can run, shoot, pass. What separates the good from the great is mental strength. The ability to stay calm under pressure. To perform when everything is falling apart. To smile when others are losing their heads. That's why Ronaldo stands out. Not just because of his goals or his records, but because of the way he handles the game no one sees. The mental game. Every laugh, every smile, every calm moment in chaos. That's mental warfare. That's Ronaldo saying, I am untouchable. Why? Does this matter to you? Because life is a mental game too. Success isn't just about skill. It's about patience, resilience. Self-control. Your boss criticizes you? Stay calm. Someone mocks your dreams? Stay calm. The world doubts you? Stay calm. Because calmness isn't weakness. It's power. And the person who controls their emotions controls the game. That's the lesson Ronaldo teaches us every time a referee laughs at him. And it's the reason he's still on top after all these years. So the next time you see Ronaldo smile when the world expects him to explode, remember this: that smile is a weapon. That calmness is strength. And that control is what makes him one of the greatest to ever play the game. Not just because he scores goals, not just because he wins trophies, but because he mastered the hardest skill of all, the skill of staying calm when life laughs at you. And if you can master that, you won't just win games. You'll win life. Most players react. Ronaldo reflects. And that's the difference. When a referee laughs in your face, what happens in your mind? For an ordinary player, the first thought is anger. How dare he? The second thought is revenge. I'll show him. And then comes the mistake, a rash tackle, a careless pass, a lapse of judgment that changes the game. But Ronaldo? He sees it differently. He doesn't think, how dare he? He thinks, why is he laughing? That's not weakness. That's perspective. And perspective is powered out. Football isn't just a game of legs. It's a game of minds. Every pass, every shot, every run, it starts in your head. And Ronaldo has mastered that part of the game like no one else. He knows referees are human. They laugh, they joke, they tease. Sometimes they make mistakes. But what's the point of exploding? Will it change the decision? No. Will it impress? The fans? Maybe for a second. But then what? You're left with a yellow card. You're left with frustration eating you alive. And frustration is poison. That's why Ronaldo chooses calm over chaos. Every laugh from a referee, he turns it into fuel. Every smirk, he turns it into focus. He plays the long game, the only game that matters. There's a pattern in everything. He does, a code he follows. Most players don't even realize it exists, but Ronaldo lives by it. Rule 1. Control what you can control. The referee's whistle? Out of your hands. The crowd's boos? Out of your hands. The only thing you control is you, your reaction, your focus, your mindset. Rule 2. Never give away your power. When you argue, when you shout, when you lose your cool, you give your power to the other person. And Ronaldo never does that. Not to a referee, not to an opponent, not to anyone. Rule 3. Turn pressure into performance. Every laugh, every insult, every doubt, it's pressure. And pressure breaks most people. But for Ronaldo, pressure is oxygen. He breathes it in and uses it to run harder, jump higher, score more. When that referee laughed, some thought Ronaldo would explode. They thought he'd snap. But instead, he smiled. Why? Because Ronaldo understands something most don't. Anger is a trap. When you get angry, you stop thinking clearly. Your body tightens up. Your decisions get sloppy. And in football, that's death. One bad pass, one mistimed tackle. That's all it takes to ruin a game. So Ronaldo does the opposite. He loosens up. He laughs too, sometimes inside, sometimes outside. Because laughter isn't weakness. It's strategy. It says, you can't break me. You can't get inside my head. Over the years, countless defenders have tried to break Ronaldo mentally. They kick him. They insult him. They whisper in his ear. They say things no camera picks up, all to make him lose control. But here's the truth: they fail, because Ronaldo doesn't play that game. He doesn't give them what they want. Instead, he gives them what they fear: silence, focus, goals. Every time they try to shake him, he scores. And when he scores, he celebrates not in anger, but in dominance. Because nothing silences an insult like the sound of the ball hitting the net. This isn't just football. This is life. Think about it. How many times have people laughed at you? How many times have they doubted you? How many times have they tried to make you feel small? Most people react. They get angry. They fight back. They waste their energy proving someone wrong instead of proving themselves right. But Ronaldo teaches us something different. When they laugh, don't fight focus. Don't react, respond. Don't let their laughter control your story. Sports psychologists call it emotional regulation. It's the ability to manage your emotions under pressure. And Ronaldo is a master of it. His secret? Training not just the body, but the brain. Visualization, breathing techniques, positive self-talk. It sounds simple, but in the heat of the moment, it's everything. When the referee laughs, Ronaldo takes a breath. He grounds himself. He reminds himself, this doesn't define me. My next move does. That's why he can smile. That's why he can walk away. That's why he stays in control when everyone else loses it. Some people think Ronaldo's confidence comes from talent, from being the best. But that's not the whole story. Confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being prepared. Ronaldo has missed penalties. He's had bad games. He's been criticized, booed, mocked. But every time, he comes back stronger. Why? Because he trusts his work. He knows what he's put in. And that trust, that self-belief is unshakable. So when a referee laughs, Ronaldo doesn't see disrespect. He sees a test, and tests don't scare him. They excite him, because he knows he's ready. That smile isn't arrogance. It's a message. It says, I'm bigger than this moment, bigger than this laugh, bigger than your doubt. It's not about ego. It's about control. And that's the real secret. Control. In a world where everyone is shouting, Ronaldo stays silent. In a game where everyone is losing their heads, Ronaldo keeps his. And that's why he wins on the pitch and in life. The match goes on. The whistle blows again. The ball rolls again. The referee? He's forgotten that laugh. The fans? They've moved on. But Ronaldo? He hasn't. He stores it. Not as anger, but as energy. And when the moment comes, when the ball falls at his feet, he uses it. One strike, one goal, one celebration that says it all. You laughed, I scored. Years from now, people will talk about Ronaldo's goals, his records, his trophies. But there's something else they should remember, his mindset. Because that, more than anything, made him who he is. The world laughed at him when he was a skinny kid at Sporting. They laughed when he said he wanted to be the best. They laughed when he left Manchester. They laughed when he went to Juventus. They laughed when he returned to United. And yet, every time, he proved them wrong. Not with words, with actions, with control. That's the real lesson here. In life, people will laugh. People will doubt. People will mock. But what you do next that defines you. And Ronaldo? He chose to rise. Every single time. The stadium lights are still bright, the crowd is still loud, and the cameras are still rolling. But Ronaldo? He's calm, always calm. We've talked about his mental toughness. We've broken down his discipline, his rituals, his ability to stay focused when others fall apart. But now, let's go deeper into the one thing that truly makes him unstoppable. Because here's the truth. Football is not just a game of goals. It's a game of control. Control over the ball. Control over the field. But most importantly, control over yourself. And no one in modern football controls themselves like Cristiano Ronaldo. Look at his body language when the referee laughs at him. It's not random. It's calculated. Most players would explode in that moment. They'd shout. They'd argue. They'd lose themselves. But Ronaldo? He smiles. Why? Because he understands energy. He understands that every second you waste on anger is a second you lose on performance. Energy in football is currency. You can spend it on complaining. Or you can invest it in scoring. And Ronaldo is an investor. Watch him closely. Every time there's a controversial decision, every time the game gets rough, he does something interesting. He doesn't burn energy on the problem. He channels it into the next move, into the next run, into the next shot. That's why defenders hate him. Because just when they think he's frustrated, he's actually planning his revenge on the scoreboard. Here's something most people miss. That smile, it's not weakness. It's a weapon. When the referee laughs at him and Ronaldo smiles back, he's sending a message not to the ref, but to everyone watching. You can't break me. And that message travels. It hits the opponent first. Imagine being a defender. You foul him. You expect him to explode. Instead, he smiles. That's intimidating. That's frustrating. Because you realize you can't control. Control in football isn't just about possession of the ball. It's about possession of the moment. And Ronaldo owns the moment. Every time. That's why his rivals struggle. They play the physical game. He plays the mental game. And in modern football, the mental game wins. But here's the part nobody likes to talk about. It's lonely at the top. People see the goals, the trophies, the money. They don't see the cost. Control has a price. And for Ronaldo, that price is emotional distance. He doesn't explode. He doesn't argue. He doesn't break down, not in public anyway. But inside, there's pressure. There's weight. Every great athlete carries it. And Ronaldo is no exception. The discipline that makes him unstoppable is the same discipline that isolates him. When you choose control over emotion, you also choose distance over connection. And maybe that's why moments like these matter. When the referee laughs, when the world is watching, and Ronaldo smiles, it's not just strategy. It's survival. Sports psychologists call it response inhibition. It's the ability to pause before reacting. Most players are wired for instant response. Something happens, they react instantly. But Ronaldo? He rewired his brain, not how. Through years of training, not just physical, but mental. Visualization exercises, breathing control, meditation. Yes, meditation. The man who runs faster than defenders and jumps higher than goalkeepers also sits still and breathes, because composure isn't natural. It's engineered. And Ronaldo engineered it. He built it, brick by brick, habit by habit, day by day. But here's the irony. Most people misread that calmness. They call it arrogance. They call it ego. They say, look at him smiling when the referee laughs. Who does he think he is? But they don't see the truth. That smile isn't arrogance. It's awareness. It's a reminder to himself and to the world that the game isn't over until the final whistle. Because if there's one thing Ronaldo knows, it's this. Football is chaos. And in chaos, the calmest mind wins. Every era ends. Every legend eventually walks off the pitch for the last time. And Ronaldo knows his time is coming. But moments like these, the smile when the world expects anger, that's his legacy. Because trophies can be forgotten. Records can be broken. But character? Character lasts forever. When kids watch Ronaldo, they don't just see goals. They see composure. They see strength. They see the man who refused to break. And maybe that's the real victory. Not the goals, not the titles, but the example. Every player trains. Every player runs. Every player dreams of glory. But how many players master themselves? That's the difference. That's the line between good and great. Between great and legendary. Cristiano Ronaldo isn't just legendary because of his talent. He's legendary because of his control. Because when the game burns hot, he stays cool. When the referee laughs, he smiles back. When the pressure is crushing, he breathes. And that is why Ronaldo isn't just a player. He's a phenomenon. So, why does Ronaldo smile when the referee laughs at him? Because he knows the truth. You can't control the referee. You can't control the fans. You can't control the game. But you can always control yourself. And in a world where everyone is losing control, that makes Cristiano Ronaldo unstoppable. When the final whistle blows, when the lights go out, and when the crowd goes home, what remains? Records? Trophies? Highlights on a screen? Sure. But with Ronaldo, it's something bigger, something that can't be measured by goals or medals. Calm that made referees laugh. The smile that drove critics crazy. The composure that inspired millions. It's his legacy. A legacy that goes beyond football. What is greatness? Most people think it's about talent, skill, speed, strength. And yes, those matter. But ask yourself, how many talented players never made it? How many strong, fast, skillful athletes faded? Into history? The difference between those who last and those who vanish is control over your mind when the game turns against you. Control over your emotions when the world is laughing. Control over your choices when fame tempts you. With destruction. Ronaldo mastered this. And it started with something so simple, a laugh from a referee. Remember that moment? The world saw disrespect. They saw a joke at Ronaldo's expense. But Ronaldo? He saw nothing. He didn't react. No anger. No protest. Just calm. That calm wasn't weakness. It was power. Because the player who stays calm always wins the bigger game. The laugh was never about the foul. It was never about the decision. It was a test. Life will always laugh at you when you try to rise. It will mock you when you aim higher than others. That laugh from the referee, that was life saying, "Let's see what you're made of." Most players would fail that test. They'd lose control. They'd argue, shout, maybe even get a red card. But Ronaldo passed. He didn't just pass, he turned the test into a statement. A statement that said, "You can laugh at me, you can doubt me, but I won't break. I won't lose my focus." And that is why he's different. Greatness doesn't always speak. Sometimes it stays silent when others scream. Sometimes it smiles when others frown. Sometimes it laughs when others rage. When Ronaldo stayed calm, he spoke a language most people will never understand. It's the language of power. The language of people who know their worth and don't need to prove it to anyone. Think about it. Every time you react with anger, you hand over your power. You give control to the person who triggered you. But when you stay calm, you take that power back. And that's what Ronaldo did, again and again. Here's the irony. Ronaldo's calm moments always came before something big, before the next goal, before the next win, before the next headline. That's because calm isn't the absence of action. It's the preparation for it. Like the stillness of a lion before it attacks. Like the quiet before a storm. When the referee laughed, Ronaldo didn't explode. He absorbed the moment, stayed silent, and kept moving forward. And then he struck. On the pitch, with goals. Off the pitch, with discipline. In life, with greatness. People love to talk about Ronaldo's body, his speed, his strength, his work ethic. But let's talk about something they often miss, his emotional discipline. Do you know how hard it is to stay calm when millions of people are watching you? When cameras are zoomed in on your face? When every move, every word, every reaction can go viral in seconds? Most players crumble under that pressure. They let emotions run wild. They let the heat of the moment destroy them. But Ronaldo? He mastered the art of self-control. And that mastery didn't happen overnight. It came from years of practice, not just in football, but in life, in training, in diet, in sleep, in every choice he made. Because discipline isn't about what you do when people are watching. It's about what you do when no one is watching. And that's where Ronaldo built his calm. Here's something few people realize. That laugh wasn't just a moment. It was a mirror that showed who Ronaldo really is. Most people look at the laugh and think, "Oh, the referee disrespected him." But look closer. That laugh revealed the truth. Ronaldo doesn't play for approval. He plays for excellence. Approval is fragile. It can disappear in a second. One bad game and the cheers turn into boos. But excellence, that stays. That's forever. And Ronaldo knows it. So, when the referee laughed, Ronaldo didn't care. Because he wasn't there for the referee. He wasn't there for the cameras. He was there for the game, for greatness, for himself. This isn't just about football. This is about life. Your life. Because you'll face moments like this too. moments when people laugh at you, when they doubt you, when they disrespect you. Question is, what will you do? Will you react? Will you fight? Will you lose control? Or will you do what Ronaldo did? Stay calm, smile, keep going, because here's the truth. Control beats chaos. Every time, let's step back for a second. Why does this even matter? Why does one laugh, one reaction, one moment deserve this much attention? Because small moments reveal big truths. A game isn't just about goals. Life isn't just about wins. It's about who you are when the pressure is on. And that's why this moment matters. When the world laughed, Ronaldo didn't change. He stayed true to himself. And that's what makes him great, not just as a player, but as a person. Years from now, people will forget the score of that match. They'll forget who scored first. They'll forget the referee's name. But they'll remember the calm. They'll remember the smile. They'll remember the man who didn't break. Because that's what greatness is. It's not in the noise. It's in the silence. It's not in the reaction. It's in the control. It's not in the moment. It's in what you do after the moment. Ronaldo understood that. And that's why, when the referee laughed, he didn't just win the game. He won the battle for his legacy. So, why is Ronaldo so cool? Why does he smile when others would rage? Why does he stay calm when the world expects fire? Because he knows something most of us forget. Life is a game. And in that game, the player who controls their emotions always wins. Ronaldo is 39 years old. For most players, that means retirement. For most players, that means the game moves on without you. But Ronaldo? He's still here, still scoring, still setting records, still rewriting history. And the question is simple. How? Most players fade. They slow down. They lose the edge. They become a shadow of their former self. But Ronaldo refuses to disappear. He refuses to let age control him. And this isn't luck. This isn't genetics. This is obsession. Pure obsession. Ronaldo doesn't just train harder than anyone else. He trains smarter. Every meal, every workout, every recovery session perfectly planned. His diet is measured to the gram. His sleep is optimized. He invests millions in his body. Cryotherapy, hyperbaric chambers, recovery pools, you name it, he uses it. Because for Ronaldo, his body isn't just a tool. It's his empire, and he guards it like a fortress. While other players party after games, Ronaldo goes home, eats clean, and rests. When others take vacations, he trains. And when they train, he trains harder. That's why at 39, he still runs. Like a man in his 20s. That's why his jump is higher than ever. That's why defenders half his age can't keep up. He's not just beating them with talent. He's beating them with discipline. Think about this. At 34, most players retire. At 36, they're gone. At 38, they're forgotten. But Ronaldo? At 38, he scored 54 goals in one calendar year. More than anyone else in the world. More than Bap. More than Holland. More than Messi. And that's not normal. That's not supposed to happen. He's playing against kids who grew up watching him on TV. He's older than some of their coaches. And yet, he's still the standard, still the benchmark, still the man everyone is chasing. Every record he breaks is a message to the world. Age is just a number. But discipline? Discipline is everything. When Ronaldo moved to Al Nassr, people laughed. They said it was over. They said he was finished. They said he was chasing money. But look closer. Was it really about money? Or was it about control? In Europe, he wasn't the main man anymore. In Saudi Arabia, he is the king. Every camera, every eye, every headline, it's on him. And that's exactly how Ronaldo likes it. Because Ronaldo was never just a footballer. He was always a brand, moving. To Saudi wasn't the end. It was the next chapter. He brought the world with him. Suddenly, everyone is talking about the Saudi League. Big players are following. Neymar, Benzema, my. Because Ronaldo opened the door. Once again, he's not following trends. He's creating them. Ronaldo is more than a player. He's a business, a global empire. CR7 isn't just on the back of his shirt. It's on hotels, gyms, fragrances, clothing lines. He understood something early. Football ends. Legacy doesn't. That's why he built something bigger than goals. And trophies. Something that lasts beyond retirement. Something that lives on even when he stops playing. But here's the thing. This wasn't luck. This was strategy. From day one, Ronaldo controlled his image. He controlled his brand. Every post, every photo, every move, it's calculated. He doesn't just play the game. He plays the business. And he plays it better than anyone else. Ask yourself this. How many players have talent? Millions. How many reach the top? A few thousand. How many stay there for 20 years? Almost none. But Ronaldo did, because talent gets you noticed. Hard work keeps you there. But obsession? Obsession makes you immortal. Ronaldo's obsession isn't just about winning. It's about becoming untouchable, becoming the example, becoming the standard for every generation that follows. When kids talk about football, they don't just talk about goals. They talk about work ethic. They talk about mentality. They talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. Even now, they still doubt him. They say he's selfish. They say he's arrogant. They say Messi is better. But here's the truth. Ronaldo doesn't care. He never cared. He learned a long time ago that opinions don't win games. Hard work does that, and that's why he never stops. Even when people laugh. Even when people say it's over. Even when the whole world doubts him. He keeps going. Because for Ronaldo, proving people wrong isn't the goal. Proving himself right is that one day Ronaldo will stop playing. One day, the boots will come off for good. But do you think that will be the end? No, it will be the beginning. Because Ronaldo isn't just building a football career. He's building an empire. Hotels, businesses, academies, investments. He's creating a world where his name lives forever. And here's the secret. That was always the plan. Ronaldo never thought small, never thought short term. He plays the long game. Always in the end. What makes Ronaldo different? It's not just the goals. It's not just the trophies. It's not even the records. It's control. Control over his body, control over his mind, control over his destiny. When others let the game use them, Ronaldo used the game. And that's why he's still standing. That's why he's still winning. That's why he's more than a player. He's a phenomenon. People will argue forever. Ronaldo or Messi? But that's the wrong question. The real question is this. Who changed the game? Who turned discipline into art? Who proved that obsession beats talent every time? The answer is simple. Cristiano Ronaldo. The man who never stopped. The man who refused to lose. The man who turned control into greatness. And maybe that's the lesson for all of us. Life will laugh at you. People will doubt you. Critics will talk. But if you stay focused, if you stay disciplined, if you control what you can control, you win. That's what Ronaldo did. And that's why, long after the last whistle blows, his name will still echo. Forever. The clock is ticking. The stadium is roaring. Cameras are flashing like lightning. Millions of people are watching. And there he is, Cristiano Ronaldo, standing calmly in the middle of the storm. This isn't just another match. This isn't just another penalty. This is history waiting to be written. And he knows it. He can feel it. Every nerve in his body is alive. Every muscle is ready. Every thought is razor sharp. But here's the truth. This moment isn't about his legs. It isn't about his power. It isn't even about his talent. This moment is about his mind. Because in football, like in life, the final battle is always mental. Ronaldo's calmness in these moments isn't luck. It isn't magic. It's years of training. Not just training his body, training his brain. Most players crumble under pressure because their minds betray them. They think too much. They panic. They freeze. But not Ronaldo. He's conditioned himself to feel at home in chaos. To be calm when everyone else is losing control. To treat the biggest moment of his life like it's just another day at the office. How does he do it? Visualization. Rehearsal. Control. Before every big game, Ronaldo spends hours seeing the match in his mind. Every pass. Every goal. Every celebration. He programs his brain for success before the first whistle even blows. So when the real moment comes, like this penalty, he doesn't feel fear. He feels familiarity. He's been here 1,000 times in his head. And every single time, he wins. The referee places the ball on the spot. He looks at Ronaldo and smirks. Not out of disrespect, not out of arrogance, but because he knows what's coming. He knows the weight of this moment. And he knows what most players would feel. Fear. But Ronaldo doesn't blink. He doesn't react. He just smiles back. That little smile? That's power. That's control. That's Ronaldo saying without words, "You can't break me. This is what separates champions from the rest." It's not just about talent. It's about psychology. About controlling the narrative in your head and in the minds of everyone watching. The crowd is deafening now. The pressure is suffocating. Time slows down. But in Ronaldo's world, it's silent, still, peaceful. He takes 3 steps back. He breathes in, exhales slowly. His eyes lock on the ball. Then the goal. Then back to the ball. The goalkeeper is trying to play mind games, waving his arms, shouting, bouncing on the line. But Ronaldo doesn't see him. The goalkeeper doesn't exist. There's only one thing in Ronaldo's universe right now. That ball. And then he moves. Not fast. Not slow. Just controlled. Like a machine built for this one purpose. 1 step. 2 steps. 3. And then impact. The sound is sharp. Clean. The ball sails through the air like it's guided by destiny. The goalkeeper dives the right way, but it doesn't matter. The ball hits the back of the net with the force of 1,000 hours of discipline. Goal. The stadium explodes. The cameras shake. Millions of people scream his name. But Ronaldo? He doesn't scream. He doesn't go crazy. He just looks up, arms wide, face calm. Like he expected this. Because he did. This is what people don't understand about Ronaldo. They think his greatness comes from talent, from genetics, from luck. No. His greatness comes from control. Control of his body, control of his career, and most importantly, control of his mind. He's mastered something most people never even think about: emotional regulation. The ability to feel pressure and not be crushed by it. To feel anger and not act on it. To feel fear and still move forward. When the referee laughs at him, when the crowd boos him, when the critics attack him, he doesn't explode. He doesn't fight. He doesn't let their chaos become his chaos. He smiles. He laughs. He stays calm. Because deep down, he knows something they don't. Control is power. And when you control yourself, nobody controls you. But here's the thing. This isn't just about football. This is about life. This is about what happens when you take the same principles Ronaldo uses on the field, and apply them to everything. Pressure at work? Stay calm. Someone insults you? Stay calm. Life throws chaos at you? Stay calm. Because here's the truth. Life will always test you. Just like that referee tested Ronaldo. Just like the goalkeeper tried to break him. Just like the world tried. To doubt him got, and every time, Ronaldo passed the test. Not because he was stronger, not because he was faster, but because he was calmer. Ronaldo's smile is more than a reaction. It's a philosophy, a strategy, a weapon. When the referee laughs at him, when the pressure is at its peak, he smiles. Because the battle isn't on the pitch. The battle is in the mind. And Ronaldo knows one simple truth. If you win the mind, you win everything. So the next time you see him smiling in the middle of chaos, remember this. That's not luck. That's not arrogance. That's mastery. And that's why Ronaldo isn't just a player. He's a mental giant. A living lesson in the power of calm. Cristiano Ronaldo's career is a collection of highlights that most players can only dream of. Goals, trophies, individual awards, his legacy is unmatched. But behind the numbers, behind the fame, there is something deeper, something invisible. And that is his mindset. Because if you strip away the medals and the money, what makes Ronaldo different from every other player? It's his ability to stay calm, to adapt, and to thrive under the most brutal pressure. That's not luck. That's not natural talent. That's a decision. A decision he made early in his life. A decision to be unshakable. But how did this mindset evolve? How did a boy from Madeira turn into the mental fortress we see today? The answer lies in 3 phases of his life. Ronaldo's early days at Sporting CP were brutal. He was a skinny teenager, far from the physical specimen the world knows today. Teammates mocked his accent, his thin frame, and even his tears. Yes, Ronaldo cried, a lot. If he didn't score in training, he cried. If a teammate didn't pass to him, he cried. People saw weakness. They saw a fragile boy in a ruthless game. But here's the thing about pain. It does 2 things. It either breaks you or it builds you. And for Ronaldo, humiliation became his fuel. Every insult was a spark. Every joke was a matchstick. And all those moments lit a fire so strong that it would burn for decades. Ronaldo didn't just want to succeed. He needed to succeed. He needed to prove every single person wrong. But pain alone doesn't make you unshakable. Pain makes you angry. Anger makes you reckless. And Ronaldo knew that. So he did something different. He converted that fire into discipline. While other kids went out after training, Ronaldo stayed. He trained harder. He worked on his body, his speed, his finishing. Day after day, year after year. Slowly, the skinny boy disappeared, and a machine emerged. But there was still one problem: emotion. He was still fiery, still reactive, still vulnerable to mind games. And that would change in the next phase. When Ronaldo joined Manchester United in 2003, he entered a new world. The Premier League was physical, fast, and unforgiving. And English fans? They were ruthless. They mocked his steep overs, his celebrations, even his haircuts. Every mistake was amplified. Every dive, every miss, it was all over the newspapers. Most young players would have crumbled under that pressure. But Ronaldo didn't. He learned. He learned that in England, toughness wasn't just about muscles. It was about mentality. If you reacted, you lost. If you showed weakness, you were finished. So Ronaldo made a choice that would define his career. He chose to control his emotions. This wasn't easy. Control doesn't come naturally. It's not a switch you flip. It's a muscle you build. And Ronaldo built it the same way. He built his body through relentless repetition. Every time a defender kicked him, he stayed calm. Every time a crowd booed him, he smiled. Every time a referee made a bad call, he didn't explode, he adapted. Slowly, the emotional teenager became a calculated competitor. But this control wasn't about being passive. It wasn't about ignoring his emotions. It was about mastering them. Because Ronaldo understood something powerful. You can't control the game if you can't control yourself. And by mastering control, Ronaldo unlocked the next level of his career. The biggest club in the world, the brightest spotlight, and the harshest critics. When Ronaldo arrived in 2009, he wasn't just a footballer. He was a brand, a symbol, a target. Every performance was analyzed. Every celebration was debated. Every loss was blamed on him. This is where most players break. Not physically, mentally, because success is heavy. The more you achieve, the heavier it gets. Expectations turn into chains. Pressure becomes poison. But Ronaldo didn't break. He thrived because he had something stronger than pressure. He had perspective. He understood that criticism is the price of greatness. He understood that hate is just noise. And most importantly, he understood that pressure is a privilege. How did he do this? Through mental rituals. Ronaldo isn't just disciplined in training. He's disciplined in thinking. Visualization, self-talk, routines, he uses them all. Before a game, he doesn't just imagine scoring, he feels it. He pictures the crowd, the net shaking, the ball hitting the corner. So when it happens, it's not a surprise, it's a repetition. That's why he doesn't panic when he misses. That's why he doesn't freeze when millions are watching. Because in his mind, he's already been there. Now, let's go back to that moment. The referee laughs at Ronaldo. And what does Ronaldo do? He smiles. Not a fake smile. Not a forced one. A real smile. Why? Because that moment is the ultimate symbol of his evolution. The kid who once cried when things didn't go his way now laughs when the world laughs at him. The teenager who once exploded in frustration now stays calm when everything is unfair. That's not weakness. That's strength. That's not ego. That's control. Because Ronaldo knows something most players never learn. The game isn't played with your feet. It's played with your mind. And that's why he's different. That's why he's great. Not because of the goals. Not because of the trophies. But because of this ability to stay unshakable in a game designed to break you. So, what can we learn from this? Because this isn't just about football. This is about life. Pressure, criticism, setbacks, they're everywhere. And if you react to every little thing, you lose. You lose time. You lose energy. You lose focus. Don't let the outside world control your inside world. See it before you do it. The weight you carry is the proof you're climbing higher. These principles turned a skinny kid from Madeira into one of the most successful athletes in history. And they can turn anyone into the best version of themselves. At the end of the day, Ronaldo's greatness isn't in his goals. It's in his growth. From tears to triumph. From rage to resilience. From being mocked to being immortal. So the next time you see Ronaldo smile when the world expects him to break, remember this. That smile isn't just confidence. It's a message that says, you can laugh, you can doubt, you can hate, but you can't control me. And that is why Cristiano Ronaldo isn't just a legend. He's a master of the mental game. A player who didn't just play football, he rewrote the rules of greatness. That football is a game of numbers. Goals, assists, trophies. People love stats because they can measure greatness. But here's the truth. Ronaldo's real greatness can't be measured. It can only be felt. And it all starts with his mind. Because long after the goals stop, long after the speed fades and the muscles weaken, one thing will remain: his influence. And that influence begins with something as simple as a laugh. Yes, a laugh. Think about that for a second. The referee laughs. The fans scream. The opponents smirk. And what does Ronaldo do? He smiles. He laughs. He moves on. That moment right there, it's bigger than the game. It's a lesson. And millions of people are watching. Young kids, future players, ordinary fans. Everyone is learning without even realizing it. They're learning that control is power. Now, let's take a step back and ask a question. Why does this matter so much? Why does a smile from Ronaldo matter more than a goal from anyone else? Because football isn't just a sport, it's a global language. And Ronaldo speaks that language better than anyone. Every gesture, every reaction, every look it sends a message. And the message is clear. You can't break me. That's why this part of the story matters more than any Ballon d'Or. Because trophies can be broken, records can be broken, but an idea lasts forever. And Ronaldo has built his career on an idea that will outlive him. Mental strength wins battles that talent can't. Let's talk about pressure. Not the kind you feel when you have an exam. Not the kind you feel when your boss gives you a deadline. Real pressure. The kind where hundreds of millions of people are watching your every move. The kind where every touch of the ball is analyzed by experts, fans, and critics. A kind where one mistake doesn't just cost a game, it costs your reputation. Now, imagine living like that for 20 years. 20 years of expectations. 20 years of cameras. 20 years of being the headline win or lose. That's Ronaldo's life. And yet, despite all of that, he doesn't crack. He doesn't break. In fact, he thrives. How? Because Ronaldo doesn't see pressure the way you and I do. For him, pressure is energy. It's fuel. It's motivation. That's why he stays calm when others panic. That's why he smiles when others scream. He's mastered the art of turning chaos into clarity. And here's what most people don't understand. Staying calm is harder than scoring a goal. Anyone with talent can hit a ball. But to keep your emotions under control when the world is against you, that's rare. That's elite. That's what separates Ronaldo from the rest. Now, let's go deeper. Let's break down the science of this calmness. Because it's not magic. It's not luck. It's psychology. When Ronaldo smiles after a controversial call, what's really happening? His brain is taking control. Instead of reacting with anger, which would spike his stress hormones, he chooses laughter. And that choice changes everything. It lowers cortisol. It keeps his body relaxed. It keeps his mind sharp. In other words, that smile is a weapon. A weapon against stress. A weapon against mistakes. A weapon against failure. And here's the genius part. It also sends a message to his opponents. When they see Ronaldo laughing after a bad call, what do they think? They think, we can't get to him. And that thought kills their confidence. Because if you can't break a player mentally, you've already lost. That's the mind game. That's the invisible battle Ronaldo wins every time. But here's where it gets interesting. Ronaldo's calmness isn't just for football. It's for life. Think about it. How many times do we let small things ruin our day? A rude comment, a traffic jam, a mistake at work. We explode over nothing. But Ronaldo shows us another way. He shows us that control is possible. That calm is a choice. That even when everything is against you, you can choose to smile. And that's why his legacy matters. Because one day, the goals will stop. And trophies will stop. But the lessons won't. Kids will still look at that clip of Ronaldo laughing at the referee and think, that's how I want to be. Not angry, not bitter, calm, confident, unbreakable. Of course, it's easy to talk about control. It's easy to admire it. But do you know what it costs? Do you know how hard it is to smile when you're furious inside? It takes years of discipline. It takes years of pain. It takes years of saying no to your impulses. That's the part people don't see. They see the smile. They don't see the struggle behind it. They don't see the hours of mental training. They don't see the sacrifices. Because make no mistake, control has a price. And Ronaldo has paid it. Every day. Every season. That's why he can laugh now. Because he's done the work when no one was watching God. So what happens when Ronaldo retires? Does this story end? No. It just begins. Because his calmness isn't tied to the pitch. It's tied to his character. And character doesn't retire. In fact, it grows. Ronaldo will keep living by the same principle. Control over chaos. And people will keep watching. Maybe in interviews. Maybe in business deals. Maybe in everyday life. But the message will stay the same. Stay calm. Stay strong. Stay focused. That's why Ronaldo's laugh at the referee isn't just a moment. It's a mindset. A mindset. That will inspire millions long after the final whistle. People argue about who the greatest of all time is. Messi, Ronaldo, Pele, Maradona. The debate will never end. But here's what no one can deny. Ronaldo's mental strength is unmatched. His ability to stay calm under fire under the brightest lights is something few athletes in any sport have ever achieved. That's why he's not just a football legend. He's a life legend. Because greatness isn't just about talent. It's about control. And Ronaldo has mastered both. So the next time you see Ronaldo laugh when the world expects him to rage, remember this. That laugh is power. That laugh is control. That laugh is everything. It's the reason he's not just surviving in this game, he's dominating it. And long after he's gone, that laugh will echo. Not in stadiums, but in minds, in hearts, in lives. Because true greatness isn't about how many goals you score. It's about how many people you inspire. And Ronaldo? He's inspiring the world one calm smile at a time.